This is exciting.
This is exciting. It's always exciting.
It's always exciting.
When you're on the Low Expectations podcast.
I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
That's good. You should be excited.
Let's go and chat all things music. We've got some crackers lined up. But yeah. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Low Expectations podcast. We're now on episode 6. We're moving ever so slightly closer to that 7-8 mark, which will potentially see the death of the podcast. But we will see where we goes. But today we've got 2 very exciting guests following their recent single release, Earth Will Be Filled. We've got the wonderful King's Village.
Hello.
Sam and Josh.
Thanks for having us.
Hi.
Crowd goes wild.
How are you guys doing?
This is the best podcast name I think I've ever come across in my life.
Wait, what was the idea behind that, Angus?
Well, I just thought, what do I think of when I think of Joel doing a video? Low Expectations.
Low Expectations. It was a little bit of a spin-off from obviously New Expectations, which is the video company, and we were just like, we want to try and tie it into it a little bit, but
Yeah.
Angus he was just like, Low Expectations. Nobody's expecting much from us, so
That's
we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hello, guys.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah? You good in lockdown? How's lockdown going?
Lockdown's been fun. I just moved house before lockdown, so
Yeah, when did you move in?
like the week before, the Monday before. The Monday
So it's
before Boris said everyone stay at home.
Wow. So it's like literally like the perfect time to just do all the house renovations
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, it's good
like
because we've got 2 kids and we were in a 2-bed flat before as well. So if it had been lockdown, we couldn't move. It would have been chaos.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to have you guys here. Not everybody knows who you are, so we're going to get to know you a bit better, if that's
Cool.
all right. So we've got this little segment called Quick Fire Questions.
Oh no.
Okay, you have 3 seconds to answer what, but because there's 2 of you, we're just going to do like one Sam, one Josh, and just like that. Okay, but you have 3 seconds to answer each one. Are you ready? First thing that comes to your head.
Ready as ever.
Okay, this is not a deep question at all. It's just the first thing that comes to your head. Okay.
Who's going first?
Sam, what's your favourite curry?
Balti.
Josh, what's your favourite colour?
Red.
Sam, what's your favourite album?
Flipping it. Man, you can't ask that in 3 seconds. What's your favourite album?
Josh, what noise does a duck make?
Quack.
Sam, what noise does a platypus make?
What? I don't know.
Sam's getting the stinkers.
Josh, what's your favourite movie?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's a great movie. Sam, describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Arrogant, punk, skater.
Josh, dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Milk chocolate.
Sam, what's your lock screen?
What's my lock screen? On my phone. Oh, my son, Forrest.
Josh, what's the last thing you ate?
A banana bread.
Oh, nice.
It's quite
Sam,
nice.
what's the last thing you drank?
Coffee.
Josh, grab the nearest thing to you that you didn't pay for.
Don't even know what it is.
What is that?
It is the Body Shop coconut hand cream.
I have always wondered how your skin is so silky smooth.
Flawless.
Well, I think you
was
actually did a
amazing.
good job with that. That was like, yeah, that could have gone a lot worse.
I
It was like-
love that final question though. It just catches everybody out every time.
Oh, man.
Really.
Favourite
Great.
album? You can't ask me that. That's terrible.
Sam, we've got a question here for you from Mr. Christian Tucker. At what age did you find out that you could do a perfect Abu from Aladdin impression?
Oh, gosh. This is brilliant. It's not the best Abu. It's just... Oh, man. It's the next
This is
question.
news
Can
to me.
you
I
do
can't
that?
wait to hear this.
Can you do? I'm
Can
not
we
even
get a
sure
little
it's very
sample?
good. Me and my brother have this thing where we always send each other quotes from films in texts, and we'll always quote like stuff. So like I know like film scripts like back to front. So like the Grinch, I know it like the whole thing. Like the Jim Carrey one, I know the whole script. But we'll send it, and you've got to guess what it's from, the film, and so we do stupid impressions as well. So one of them is the like that. Because in the Aladdin film, Abu introduces himself, and he just lifts his hat, and I just think it's hilarious. And so
That was amazing. I remember chatting with Christian. I was just like, oh, like I've got these questions here. Here are the notes. Can you just have a look through? And he was like, you've got to add this one question in.
so naughty. That is terrible. That's embarrassing. But yeah, that was it.
A quick little question for Josh, actually.
Okay.
When did you discover that you were the next rap sensation?
Oh my gosh.
What was your name again?
My rap name was Lil J Fraser.
Oh no.
Fraser with a Z, because that's cooler.
Little J Fraz.
You guys, this is like the news of the world. You guys have been like digging dirt.
I know, this is amazing. Not many people know this.
Now everybody, like the whole world, will know your rap career.
The whole world.
Crazy.
What age was
I
your
was
debut
about.
album?
Oh, I didn't have an album. I just rapped at church a bit.
Rapped at church.
At church.
We were a Christian rap band.
You were the original, like Governor B just ripped you off.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I was like 7 or 8.
Did you ever do like on stage stuff, or was it just like in the kids club?
Yeah, it was just like in the kids club.
Oh.
Nothing major. Nothing major.
And there's no video.
There's no video.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
100% sure.
I'm not actually 100%
No,
sure. There's probably something. There's something
we need to try.
Because if
somewhere.
anyone's found it,
Yeah.
you've found it, haven't you? You guys have found it. Come on, please.
No, we haven't.
Oh man.
We'll have to do a bit more digging.
Yeah.
Speaking of digging, we did quite a lot of digging. You know, we do a bit of research just to find out about guys that are coming on or whatever. And one thing that actually stuck out to me when I was digging, especially on you, Sam, is that you don't follow Joel on Instagram.
Wait, what?
But you follow me.
Do I?
What?
Joel's got about 10 Instagram accounts though, hasn't he? He's like New Expectations.
That is true. I've got quite
What's
a
the other?
few.
You've got a few.
Okay, it's nothing personal though.
I follow
It's
at
just-
least one of them, so I feel,
I'm
I feel
disappointed in you,
vindicated.
Sam.
I just found it really funny how I only actually met you in February and you follow me.
that is strange. Yeah.
I expect that to change after this episode, Sam. I'm just joking. How did you guys meet?
What, me and Josh?
Yeah.
I don't know when the first time was, Josh. Was it?
I think
the
the first time. I think we were both on the production team for a big church night in tour
Yeah.
with Martin Smith and Leland. So myself and Sam were like pushing flight cases
We
and
were roadies.
setting up.
Oh, wow.
We were the roadies.
I think that must have been it. I think I'd seen you.
What-
I think I'd seen you around at different events. And the Christian world's so small in it, but yeah, I think that was the first time, wasn't it, on that tour?
When was that?
20.
Oh,
Was it 14 or 15?
I think it was 2015.
Was it?
So I was still living in Scotland.
That was a hell of a commute.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. But Sam, you've obviously been in a part of like King's Village and stuff for a while now. When did that all kind of kick off originally?
Well, originally it wasn't King's Village. So originally, I just released some music as a solo artist. So like 2011, I finished uni and I released an album just under Sam Archer. And then what else did I do? Then I put out like an EP in 2014. Then 2016, I put out another EP, and I recorded that nearby a church in Wiston, which is on the site of Big Church Day Out.
Mm-hmm.
We recorded that there, and Ruben and Jamie were a part of that. And Ruben and Jamie are both part of King's Village, and then after that, we kind of decided that we wanted it to become more of a collective thing, like more of an expression out of the church and what the church is doing. So the name King's Village came along, and we did another EP of a few songs, me, Ruben and Jamie. in 2018, I think that was, and then the team got bigger. Josh moved down from Scotland to join the church, and that Kings Village kind of just sort of evolved from there, and became what it is now.
So was there like a specific like turning point where like Josh and like Leah and people like that kind of joined, or was it just every now and again there was?
I think when I heard Josh play electric guitar for the first time, I thought, okay, he probably needs to be in the band. So Josh came down from Scotland to just join the worship team at Arran, at the church we're at, and to sort of work with me leading the worship team. And then, I remember, I didn't know you were an electric guitar player.
Yeah, I didn't even play electric guitar for the first 6 months of being down here. So I was just like, acoustic guitar, lead the worship on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And I think you had a gig coming up in, where was it? Emsworth or something?
Yeah.
A church in Emsworth.
Yeah.
And you were like, oh, we don't have an electric player, can you come and jump in? So that was my first gig.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I don't know when Leah joined. Leah kind of, we just started getting her involved in a few events we were doing, and it kind of, a few few worship things we were doing, and then it kind of grew from there, didn't it?
I'm pretty sure one of Leah's first gigs with us was Big Church Day Out main stage.
Oh wow!
Which is quite a big jump from doing no.
It's a good trial. That's a good trial shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Is that the
into
biggest?
The deep end.
Yeah. Is that the biggest kind of crowd that you've kind of worshipped with, or
probably? I think it is. I mean, there was an event in Finland where there was a lot of people. Was it Finland? There was like an arena in Finland. It was like a youth event, and that was a lot of people. But I think Big Church was bigger.
You've obviously travelled around, obviously with you've gone to Big Church Day Out. You say Finland. There was also one in Vienna, I think. I think last year.
Yeah.
What is there one kind of show or one kind of location that has kind of stood out to you as being this was the most impactful for us, or the most exciting?
For me, Vienna was amazing. We got to lead worship in St. Stephen's. Was it St. Stephen's?
Yeah, that's right.
Cathedral, and it's the prime tourist spot in Vienna.
Oh,
so
wow.
It's super busy, and we done this kind of worship night thing. So we had it was Catholics and us together. So we done a mass first, and then we came in. We done a worship set.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing. We packed the place out, and there was also just people coming in off the streets. I remember we were leading worship, and the doors were open. There was people just flooding in. Thousands of people just crammed into this cathedral. It was just amazing.
That was part of the 24/7 thing, wasn't it? It was like a 24/7 conference. 24/7 prayer conference, their international conference each year, and so they invited us to come and do it. This was awesome. Yeah, I would say that was probably.
And then you also obviously went to Finland last year, and I remember there was a few other bands and artists that I'd kind of done some video stuff with before that went along to that. How did that come about? Was that through?
I think it was quite random, wasn't it?
I think they approached us about it. I think they just saw our stuff and just wondered if we'd be up for going over and leading worship. They were quite specific about wanting because the event's a great event. It's been going for I don't know, nearly 30 years or something, or more than.
Yeah.
It started in the early 90s, I think, but they were specific. They wanted a worship band to come, because a lot of the other bands they're all Christian, but they're like social beings. They're like rap bands or LZ7, and they have a lot of that. And then they have Finnish bands, European bands, who would be like hard rock bands or what have you. But they wanted a worship set, whatever that means. But so they just asked us to come and do that.
That's awesome.
We just did our thing.
So, Josh, obviously we've heard about Lil J Fraz. Was that kind of your first how did you sort of get into music? Was that your first sort of
that was just a bit of fun, but
right.
It was just through church really. Started playing guitar, and then I think I was about 9 or 10, and I started playing electric. Just I knew 4 chords on the guitar, and I used to just jump up on a Sunday and kind of try and sight read my way through the charts. But I learnt so much just playing in church, and then through my teenager years, I played for some bands in Scotland, and I just loved playing music. So
Yeah.
it all started in church, though, for me.
Was it
yeah.
always church stuff, or did you go off and do like other bits and pieces?
Yeah, no, it wasn't always church stuff. The bands that were in, it was just like pop music, rock music, and we used to just like tour around the venues in Scotland and clubs and bars, and that was a really fun experience as well. So,
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
What about starting music? I just I started when I was like, I guess 11, 12. I mean, I played piano. I got piano lessons when I was like 8 or something. And then I didn't really take kindly to lessons. I just wanted to do my own thing. So, and then I got into guitar. My dad played guitar, so I picked up a guitar when I was like 9 or 10 or something, and then just went from there and just had bands with friends. I think the first band I was in was like 11, and
Oh wow.
it was like I think we were called Collision. Do you know what I mean?
Strong
Like,
name,
yeah,
strong name.
Do you know what I mean? We played like at the time it was all about like pop punk music, so that's what we played.
Yeah, and so Josh, you obviously grew up in Scotland, and Sam, you grew up somewhere up north,
Yes.
north way, didn't you?
Yeah, we're both northern boys.
Yes.
Josh is more north.
Is there like a big difference from like between like there and like down south with like the music scene and how it's kind of like viewed, or was it quite an easy kind of like adaptation to make when you moved down?
Well, there's more going on down south.
especially for like Christian music, there's not really that much going on up north, Christian music wise. There's a few things, but down here it's more of a hub, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a good little kind of like mixture of, especially like the festivals and stuff, just in this area, with like Big Churched Out, David's Tent and stuff.
I think it's historic though, isn't it? It's like Littlehampton across to Eastbourne, because Eastbourne was like where like Kingsway and Integrity and all that was historically, and then across to Brighton, and like for like 30 or 40 years, that's where the whole industry and the whole kind of thing has been coming out of. So but then, you know, in the north people are really nice.
Yeah.
That is very true. Every northerner is nice. There's not a single bad northerner.
No.
So like alongside King's Village, you lead worship in a church. What's that? Obviously, the similarities between leading worship at a church where you sort of know everybody, and then like at an event like Big Church Day Out or whatever. What is it like leading a church? And then also, what's it like now in lockdown, because everything's so different now?
Yeah, lockdown's been interesting. We've kind of gone down the pre-recorded route for our worship on a Sunday, so I've kind of been pulling that together each week, which has been fun, especially in a one-bedroom flat when you've got people above you, beside you, below you, and you just feel like, oh, sorry, I'm going to have to sing once a week really loud. Apologies. But it's been fun. I think we're in the rhythm of it now. So, and Joel's been a massive help to us as well, getting it all filmed.
It's been good fun.
Of course he has.
Making it look
Always
good.
massive help, isn't he? He's a good egg.
What's like? Obviously, I've been a part of like putting the videos together and stuff. But what is the kind of the process of like the actual like music side? Because obviously everyone's in different locations. So there was a point where we couldn't all meet together and kind of do it together.
Yeah.
So is it just a case of just like recording and then syncing up? What's the?
So the first couple of weeks, what I'd done was I kind of recorded like a guide track of me and an acoustic guitar singing through the song, and then I just sent that out to the guys. But we found that was quite sterile and not so fun to play along to, because it's like, if you're used to playing in a band, you're used to like the drums and the dynamics of a song, and you just don't get that with an acoustic guitar and vocal. So from that point we started using multi-tracks. So what I would do is send out like a band that they can play along to with a click track. It's all queued up, so you've got intro, chorus, whatever, and they can play along. It feels a bit more like what it would on a Sunday, so that's really helped the feel of the whole thing and lock it all together. So yeah, that's how we're doing it, and then I mix it all together one stage. So we've got files flying everywhere.
Yeah, literally, it's a nightmare.
It's mad.
I sometimes wish that people who aren't musicians or part of worship teams, if they could hear what's going on in your ears, when you're playing to tracks.
So I didn't actually know.
I think they'd be just like, what on earth?
Yeah,
intro.
Pre-chorus. Exactly. When
Trash
I'm
can.
Trash can. Yeah, that's the best one.
when I'm just in the congregation and stuff, you just kind of assume that everyone just knows exactly when to start playing and everything like that.
It's all lies, Joel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all lies.
And then you get sent through the tracks and stuff, and it's like, intro 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is actually a lot more high tech than I thought it was.
Yeah. Do you tend to? Because I know, for instance, at my church, we pretty much play everything with a click or a track or something.
Yeah.
And it's not out of a. It's more out of it's like a sort of safety blanket of things can go wrong to a point, and then actually we've got something to fall back on. But do you find that you're sort of mixing between playing with click and track, or do you find that the majority of what you're doing is with some kind of track in the back?
We always have a click. At church, we've actually only really just started using some track for some songs, but we love the kind of space in between things and the ability to go off in a new direction halfway through a song. With track, you don't really have that flexibility all the time, but we definitely do use track for some songs.
We always have click. I mean, unless you're, I remember seeing the Elevation Worship's rig. Because they run tracks, but they also like the freedom thing to go where they want, and they literally have a guy off stage with 2 computers running their tracks, so that if they go somewhere, he can just flick into the next section. I just remember seeing it at Big Church Day Out. They rolled it in. It was on the side, on a flight case, and he stood there the whole show, just they're going to a chorus again. Just drops it in time, and then, they can do whatever the heck they want.
It's just a whole different.
But still, that would be unbelievable. But that's just another level of preparation.
A lot of prep goes into that, I'm sure.
Yeah, preparation.
The one thing I do find with you guys, especially, is you do the whole space thing really well, and it's you do find sometimes you see somebody at Big Church Day Out or whatever, and you're like, oh, they're literally just sticking to a set list. But you do go, okay, well, we're just gonna leave some space here, or maybe we'll go into a reprise of this or whatever. I think that really comes across, and it is and it just makes everything feel so much more. I don't want to say authentic because it's all authentic, but you know what I mean. No, I can actually, I have the freedom to worship in this space. So the praises, is it an EP or an album? 8 praises.
Well, it's halfway between an EP and an album. I think it's 8 songs. It's 8 songs, but a few of them are 10 minutes long. So
yeah,
no, not 10 minutes, but
out.
The worship genre. If you're not over 8 minutes, it's not a worship song. So.
Yeah. So where did the praises sort of album come from? Where did it sort of start out? Has it been a fairly spread out process, or has it been we want to write an album?
Well, probably quite spread out, because it's got some songs on it that are 5 years old, and some songs on it that are only 1 year old. So I think it really feels like the first. It feels like the first King's Village thing proper. Where we figured out what this is, and okay, here's a body of work that represents what we do. I think the years between 2016 and now, where I put some music out and then the team came along, we were still figuring out what everything was. And so there's some songs that we've rewritten and put on this album that were from 2016, and some songs that have only come in the last year or two. And we just decided in December last year, we were okay, we need to do an album, let's do it. It was literally just before Christmas. We sat down, we were okay, let's do it. And then we went, oh crap, we've got to we've got to make this happen.
A month to pull it together. January was just absolute madness.
Yeah,
pulling it all together, but we got there.
I remember. I think it was. I can't. From memory, I think it was about a year before, but I could be completely wrong with that. And we went and just had a meeting just to discuss all things like King's Village throughout the year and stuff. And I sat there with Tim, and he was just like, "We've got something planned," and he didn't tell me what it was. And he was like, "Like, have you shot at any like churches or anything like that? Just like really like visually, like really nice and visual." And I was just like, "Oh, like there's one just down the road in Littlehampton. There's another one over here."
Yeah.
And I had no idea what that was for. And then a year later, you get in touch and it's just like, "Oh yeah, like we're gonna do this kind of live album. Like, do you wanna get involved?" So I think that was a nice surprise. You've done live recordings before, as you said, like at the one at the church in Wiston. But you've not done anything like of that kind of size in that kind of capacity before. What was that kind of like planning wise?
There was a lot of planning. I guess it's funny because like me and Josh are both like really creative, and so like we're getting better at planning. we're not that good. We're not that good at it because our minds are so creative. Like we just had a great team, and we relied on good people, and so we just picked good people who we were able to ask to do something. So like yourself, Joel, just asked you to take on the video side, and you kind of ran with it and got that sorted. And so I think and you pulled in a team of people who just did a great job. And I think that's half the battle, is just getting people who are competent and good, and work hard at stuff. And we tried to concentrate our efforts on where we're good, which is like writing the songs. And production and doing that. And then Josh's wife Vanessa, she helped us, like she's way more organised than me and Josh are, like, and just helped us kind of figure that out. And so I think, but it's just hard, like it's hard work, I guess, like anything on that scale. You've just got to work hard.
100%.
You just got to work really hard and sacrifice a lot. So so we just literally January we worked, and February I think we worked every single day.
And March.
For a long time, every day guys, for hours.
You guys went like fully in on it, and obviously you've, as I mentioned, you've done stuff before. But what was there any like big inspirations for this kind of project? Did you see other people's live stuff and just be like, oh, we want to kind of get this feel, or was it like a completely natural, like this is a King's Village through and through?
Yeah, there were definitely inspirations, especially when we were thinking about like production and how do we want this to sound. Like when we were mixing and editing, we were kind of using reference albums like Hillsong United's new album People, and we love that album. We love the energy of that album and the way the room feels, and it just feels amazing. And then also Martin Smith's live record, that was a huge inspiration for what we were doing. We love the guitars on that record, the drums and how it feels. So those were a couple of.
And I think you pulled it off really well. I think that's the one thing, especially from like kind of editing through the videos and stuff, is that you just use the room sound and like the congregation worshiping with you to such a good extent. Like I remember there was one where you just kind of just let it flow. The whole band just stopped, and it was just like the audience or the crowd or just worshiping along. And those are potentially like the most powerful moments within like this kind of like project, at least, especially from the video, because you can really see people are really feeling it. And I think that's, as Angus said, that is what you guys do so well, is just bringing kind of like the audience in, or the congregation or whatever, and like utilizing that into what you're making. But with the video stuff, we obviously went through. There's 8 in total. What's kind of like the thought process, or like the planning of when are those getting released? Obviously, we've just recently had one release last Friday. When can we see the other ones?
Well, you see the next one on the first Friday of July. So it's the first Friday of the next few months. So July, August, and then September, the whole album comes out. At which point, the videos for the rest of the year will just get dropped, sort of a bit closer together, but across the year. And then interspersed with like doing some acoustic stuff and like, I don't know, it depends how long we're socially distancing, probably like Zoom versions. That kind of thing. But so yeah, just across the next year. But the plan for the first 4 songs, at least, you've got 3 singles, and then the 4th song, Praises, drops when the album drops in September. So first Friday of every month for the next few months, and then the videos will just kind of, the rest of the videos will seep out after that throughout the year. Just content wise, it's just having content to be able to keep putting out. And that's why video is so important, I think, especially in the worship world. That video is that's where a lot of people listen to worship on YouTube. Like that's where
I find myself doing that.
Well, as a worship team as well, if me and Josh are sitting down on a Monday, like, what song should we do this week at church, we'll go straight to YouTube to find out what's just come out, to see it and to hear it and hear that live thing, because it puts it in a context that feels like church. It feels like a Sunday morning, so teams see it and then go, oh, we could do that. So
when you have a project like this for so long, obviously it's quite easy to get like attached to it. And do you have any sort of, I think regrets is the wrong word, but is there anything that you're looking at already and you're going, okay, right, we know what to do next time, we know what to do, whatever, or is it one of these things where you actually look at it and you go, this is the best work we've done? Like,
well, it's definitely the best thing we've done, isn't it, Josh?
Oh, definitely. I think as a team we're really proud of how it's turned out. I think we were really worried at first because we didn't have the biggest budget, and we were like, are we going to be able to pull this off? But I think we're all just delighted with the way it's turned out, and the videos look amazing, the audio feels great. So yeah, I'm trying to think of something that.
Well, I think that you learn, like, I think we've learned like practical things. Like, there's definitely things in the post-production that we spent too much time on, and too much energy on, that we wouldn't do next time, because what we ended up doing was spending time on one thing and then realizing, oh, we didn't need to do it that way. We could have done it this way. That's practical. And then like organizational things around how the night was run and what we could do better to capture better audio, or do you know what I mean? Just different little practical things.
There's always with this sort of thing, and there's always going to be just little things that you're just like, oh, like I wish I'd tweaked that. And I know that there's like a few bits that we've noticed from like the video side of things where we're just like, oh, like if there's ever a future project, like we'll do this and we can change this and stuff like that. And like I noticed that with a lot of my projects, and I'm sure that's the same. But I think overall, like, it's such a good, it's just such a good EP or album or like mini album,
whatever it is.
I think it's definitely. Well, I should say, it will hopefully. I think it will make a big impact, and it will help a lot of people, and I hope that it will be spread to a large amount of people, because I think it deserves to kind of be put in front of a larger audience.
Definitely. When the first single came out last week, it was like I had so many messages being like, this is insane, like this is like, like what, like I mean, not just the video, but like also the actual single itself is like, this is awesome, like like they must have had an insane budget and like, all this sort of stuff, and I'm like, about that.
Well, that it's interesting. I heard an interesting, like, I don't know, I can't remember, it was a podcast or a YouTube video about, I think it was the guy who started, I'm really into coffee, it was the guy who started the Square Mile coffee roastery.
Oh, James Hoffman.
Yeah. So I follow him. He was talking about money and time, and basically where you run out of money, time becomes the the thing that makes the thing happen. So, for instance, like, yeah, you have a budget X amount, but you can put more time in. So, like, me and Josh totally worked over what we like. Do you know what I mean? Like, we put in. If you were to, like, if I was to charge for the hours I put in, then the budget needed to be, I don't know, 50 grand. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if I charged for the hours that Joel put in, like, and everyone else put in, and so if you can get a team around you that are willing to sacrifice their time, to
so huge.
to an end goal that is great, then you get it, and everyone would love to have the biggest budget in the world, but it's more about people power than it is about just money.
Yeah. I do think that you did really well at kind of finding those people that were willing to just put in the extra mile to make it happen just because they believed in the project.
And it's that's a huge thing. But it's also because we all feel like we're in the same boat. We're all in the same place. We're like we're all gunning for the same thing.
It's just a big collective.
Yeah, that's right.
It makes it feel way more worshipful when everybody's in it for the end goal, instead of, you know, because it's all the time when we're sat here thinking, oh, we've recorded this, oh great, I'll send it to like this mix engineer, we'll pay him and then he can do it all for us and it'll be great and it'll sound awesome. It's like, but it won't feel awesome. It won't feel like, you know, that project that this group of people have worked on for so long or whatever. And that's what I love about the album that's coming out. It's literally it feels very King's Village, like. And there's no like, and you know, the amount of times people are like, oh, King's Village, like, what's their music style? And I'm like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just King's Village. It's just like, it's great. It's like, you know, and so it feels very much you guys, and that's what I love about it. Yeah. What do you think is the next sort of step for King's Village?
Well, right now it's marketing the album. Like, it feels like it really does feel like the work starts now as well. That's the scary. That's the scary thing about, because me and Josh have chatted about this. Like, we've both put out EPs ourselves as solo artists, and there's like this thing, you put it up on the internet and you hope it's going to fly, but it doesn't unless you work hard. Like, unless you work it
100%.
And you market it, and 2, you get out and you play live. So the next thing is just get out, lead worship, keep doing church. That's the immediate thing. And then after that,
we're gonna keep writing, I guess.
Yeah,
we want to write another record, maybe for next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we want to do another one.
See,
same time next year.
Exclusive content right here.
Yeah.
The sneak peek.
Yeah, new album coming next year.
No, that'd be super exciting. But just to kind of tail off the conversation here, we ask each of our guests one question, and we thought we'd ask you, where do you see, or where do you want King's Village to be in the next 5 years?
Good question.
The classic. Good question, because it's a thinker.
Well, I'd love it to be self-sustaining. Like, I'd love it to make enough money to employ the people within it, and then, which in turn allows us to create more content. Because there's always that tension where the rubber hits the road. People need jobs and need. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we could get it to a place where it's self-sustaining, it's not about making uber amounts of money. It's just about, like, can we get it so that the gifting can keep being put out to the world? Because we need money to make these things. And do you know what I mean? It's like, if we could get it to a place in the next 5 years where it sustains itself and allows us to keep putting music out, then that would be awesome. And so that looks like selling records, keeping leading worship at events, and then the songs having an impact.
I think that's a great answer.
That's
a good answer.
It's great. It's momentum, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hard balance, because nobody wants to say we need it to make money. But the truth of the matter is, like, if you want to keep blessing people with the songs, and you need that and that, so you need both.
Yeah.
And so I'd love it to be able to do that.
Yeah. I guess on a bit more of a personal note, like how do each of you want to use this album to like impact people? Where do you want to see it hit, in a sense? Like,
well, I guess we want as many people to hear it as possible, and the messages that are in it. Like a lot of the themes. There's a lot of kingdom themes in the album, so like about kingdom coming and the impact that God can have on your life. You know, the impact of knowing who Jesus is and how that can have a really, really positive impact on the world. And so I want the songs to do that for people to find hope through the songs.
Yeah.
That would be a real personal goal for me.
Yeah.
That the songs help people to come into connection with God.
I think you're definitely on the right path to make all of these things happen, and I'm really excited to see where this current album goes and what's to come in the future. Where can people find your stuff? Where can they listen to the music? Where can they see you on socials, etc.?
Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're all on there.
Just all under King's Village, yeah.
Yeah. King's
Yeah, it's on all the places where people sell music. That's where it is.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well,
all the places.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming on.
That's all right.
And thank you everyone for listening / watching. Please go and check out the stuff. Go and check out the latest single, Earth Will Be Filled, on Spotify, YouTube, etc., etc. And
Apple Music.
Also Apple Music. And if you are watching on YouTube, can you just please just hit that subscribe button down below? We need to just know that people are wanting to watch these videos, just so we can keep them rolling. And yeah,
great.
See you all guys later.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thanks for having us.